Hello and welcome to another standard video here in the preview event for Ninja Turtles. Today I'm playing the jankiest deck I've played in recent memory, a blue-green Turtle Typal deck built around the Turtle Power enchantment, a 3-mana enchantment with flash, giving our turtles +2/+2. So this is a pretty strong payoff as long as our deck consists mostly of turtles. The problem is that most of the turtles aren't particularly aggressively statted, and they're often more high toughness based with Aegis Turtle and Turtle Duck at 1 mana, which in turn does play well into the Bedrock Tortoise game plan at least, where now creatures can deal damage equal to their toughness rather than their power. So those are some of the synergies that we're trying to set up. And then rounding out the deck, we also have some other turtle payoffs, with Mikey and Dawn being able to play turtles off the top, in addition to giving them an extra +1 counter. Can also play lands off the top. And then we've got Mutable Explorer, making a Mutavault token, both changelings, so they also count as turtles. The one-off Chomping Changeling is here to blow up artifacts and enchantments, and can be found with a Celestial Reunion, kind of a Green Sun's Zenith for turtles in this case. So we can find whatever turtle we want, although it's gonna cost 1 additional mana on top of that. And then at 2 mana, we just need to kind of round out the curve. Don't have a ton of options, so I'm going with 3 Mischievous Sneaklings, which can be flashed in at instant speed. And then Mikey and Leo can occasionally draw us a card if we get an extra counter from Mikey and Dawn, or from Michelangelo, which enters with a mutagen token, which we can also sacrifice for an additional +1 counter. And then Michelangelo acting as a hardened scales, giving us more +1 counters going forward. And then the mana base does have a few nice utility lands, with Cavern of Souls making turtles uncounterable, and Turtle Lair can also make them unblockable. So yeah, that's our deck. Now let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. Okay, we're on the draw with keepable hands. And no 1-drop to start out. Opponent's got the Grease Wrench. So the curve of maybe Sneakling into Mutable into Turtle Power. Now Celestial Reunion could maybe get our disenchant, but it's gonna take a while. Or we can just draw it, that works too. Could also Reunion and just get an Aegis Turtle to block, as opposed to trying to trade. Close call. Yeah, I guess we want to use up our mana here. And name Turtle. And don't want to show them the Chomping Changeling, since they might spend the mana on leveling up their class. In which they do. So let's get it out of here. Tarsa we can block. Discarding 2 lanes. Checking for Burst Lightning, perhaps. Alright, Tortoise versus Turtle Power. I kind of like Tortoise. And I'm still gonna play defense. But next turn we can maybe consider an attack. Could also play 2 more turtles out before we Turtle Power. Maybe should have attacked with a Chomping Changeling, because then I would be threatening lethal next turn. If they take it. They're maybe hoping to use Tersa to get back Cool but Rude. But that's kind of a 1 in 7 shot. And discards a Lightning Strike and Casey Jones. So they do have some burn spells. And Tersa gets a land back. So they could have another Lightning Strike, so I don't want to block with a Bedrock. If I can help it. just set up some trades. Even though we have turtle power, I can add a few more creatures to the board first. And then if they feel inclined to trade for Aegis Turtle, that's fine by me. Yeah, a Lightning Strike goes face. And I think I'm okay taking 2 here. Could also play Michelangelo. But the Sneakling's gonna hit maybe a little harder. Another Terza. But yeah, at this point, opponent's probably too far behind. They found another cool but rude. So they get to trigger Terza, discard draw, and they actually exile the other copy. But yeah, they're pretty dead on board. Double turtle power for the massive overkill. Didn't get a chance to cast both of them. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw with a keepable hand. Opponent blue-black. So can curve Aegis into a Mikey. Maybe mutable before we turtle power. And does our opponent have a counterspell? A Bitter Bloom Bear. And now Deceit. If you have a look, probably takes our turtle power. So that's too bad. If the game drags out, we do have Mikey to maybe provide some card advantage. I'm gonna save myself the damage, even though it gives the opponent perfect information. And now a Ninja Teen. Okay. Oh, still go for Mikey. Bedrock coming up. Happy to trade. Although maybe I should not trade the mutable in case we draw another turtle power. Opponent does accept a trade for Mikey, which could have been good with the other Mikey if we play creatures off the top. Although we're going to be drawing the bedrock. Another Deceit. We'll see basic forest. Still lose a life. And Cecil, pretty good here. Can trade for larger creatures. Start with Aegis Turtle. Play a land. Immutable's an option. Also can't forget about Turtle Lair to make my creatures unblockable. That's going to be more relevant once we play the Bedrock Tortoise. Yeah, I think we Bedrock. Send in the Aegis Turtles. Could even consider Mikey. Because next turn I could just activate the Turtle Lair to try and get the game over with. Opponent's at 6. And a Quack Feast does deal with the Bedrock. So that's a setback. Still have Mutavault to attack with. And they're fighting Hex on Mutavaults. So yeah, we're losing our firepower. Although we do have some promising top decks. Another Bedrock. The Reunion can find it. Chomping Changeling for the enchantment would be decent. And of course, Turtle Power. And there it is. There is a world where I should just cast it before attacking to make sure it resolves in case they have a counterspell. But this is more exciting. Alright, opponent had a Harvester to take out Mutavault in response. And we still cross the finish line. Awesome, on to the next one. Alright, we're on the draw with a high toughness hand, so could work out. Land number 4, any of our 2 and 3 mana turtles, and of course Turtle Power are all welcome. So next turn double 1-drop. Would be pretty sweet if we can Turtle Power on 3. Opponent on the artifact deck, so they can go wide. Now we will at the very least be able to play the Explorer, which will guarantee Tortoise. But yeah, the opponent might be able to go wide enough where they can chump some 5/5 turtles and still get us. The Chrome Dome has arrived, but we can still soak up their attack. And there's Turtle Power. So yeah, I could go for it. I think I still like Mutable Explorer first. Because yeah, an attack for 6, we would take maybe more than 6 on the way back. Let's just keep building up our defenses. Now Lampship could help them fly over. So yeah, we do need to start attacking now. Aegis Turtle plus Turtle Power versus Bedrock Tortoise. The Bedrock does hit quite a bit harder here. I'll keep the Mutable back. Opponent is jumping. Another Ravenous Robots is bad news. I'm probably dead in 2 turns, and I'm pretty sure opponent's got enough blockers back. Trample's the one keyword we're missing. So best I can do is animate Mutavault, attack all out, and hope our opponent messes up. We do technically have the Turtle Lair to make stuff unblockable, but not this time. With these blocks I could put them to 1 life, which isn't quite enough. Could also activate the Turtle Duck, but yeah, I guess Turtle Power's still better. And I'm still dying next turn to the Flyer, so not much we could do. So yeah, as expected, the ravenous robots just able to withstand our attacks. And yeah, the lamp ship ended up being pretty important, otherwise they may not have been able to break through. On to the next one. Alright, we're on the draw. Don't actually hate this. Couple sneaky sneaklings into double turtle power. Can keep our opponent guessing. And a Quantum Riddler out of blue-red. Or Jeskai even. I guess we'll name Turtle, just to make sure. I do prefer running out some more creatures before casting Turtle power. At least the Conqueror doesn't really affect us. I guess we've got the threat of activation in a way here, so I can attack if they block Turtle power, if not, play Explorer. So our opponent always has to consider the Flash enchantment. Shepherd can find a 1-drop. Momo to discount their flyers. And a Pixie can pick up the Shepherd, so that was a nice sequence. I think we are going for Turtle power now. And then I can still play another Sneakling. Could have kept up Cavern of Souls, I suppose. I'm gonna be real sad if they spell snare it. Opponent just casting the Shepherd. And a prehistoric pet. Can be another way of bouncing your own stuff. Alright, so Flash and a Sneakling. Animate Mutavaults. And attack. Opponent falls to 1. Don't see them dealing 12 damage, but maybe they have a board wipe. Although they would also need to survive the Mutavault afterwards. Shiko can get back a creature. So that one's gonna stay back. And we can keep up the pressure. Yeah, normally Conqueror is very good against green decks that rely on mana creatures, but we are safe. Might be overextending here, but again, if they do have a board wipe, we still have Mutavaults. And there we go, awesome. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play with a keepable hand. We'll name Turtle. And hopefully we get to Mikey and Dawn before the game is over. Play Michelangelo. And next turn we can go Turtle Duck, maybe sack Mutagen, play a tap land. Pinnacle Emissary can help them go wide, and Springleaf is quite nice. At least they didn't have another 1-drop. Okay, so put the counter here, I think. So Mikey does give us a pretty strong late game. But yeah, the artifact deck is scary. They've got some evasive threats. Could attack first and threaten to pump, but we wouldn't be dealing any damage. Okay, got a mutable coming up. And the mecha spider here. Land of the top. Celestial Reunion. I sadly cannot cast with Mikey, but could get the Chomping Changeling to destroy an artifact. So that's relevant. Do you want to get my attacks in? Don't think I need this on defense. All out attack. They can still pump with Physic. So we take 6. Opponent draws, okay, so they're digging. And Krang, not a bad leftover. Draws 1 card. And get to untap. Play a land. And then Reunion for 3. Get Chomping Changeling. Versus do it for 4. Get a Bedrock Tortoise. And then I can still activate Mutavault either way. Assuming our opponent has nothing. With Bedrock, jump the Aegis Turtle. And then still take lethal. With Chomping, we would not be attacking for a lot of damage. So I guess I like Bedrock. Turtle power on top. And smash. And we got there, awesome. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw. We have 2 high toughness 1-drops, a Bedrock. So just missing a 3rd land for mutable. We'll give it a try. And then start with Aegis Turtle. In case I draw another one, I can play both 1-drops on 2. And Momo on turn 1. Okay, found the land at least. So there's gonna be a race between our turtles on the ground and the opponent's flyers, maybe an angel deck. Well, they're off to a great start. Did find another Aegis Turtle as it turns out, so just gotta hope they can't answer the Bedrock Tortoise. And Sheltered by Ghosts. Could imply that they have another one if they're willing to fire it off here. And Halia can immediately draw a card as well. Could have also informed their decision to play Sheltered by Ghosts. So yeah, it's not looking great for me anymore. Gonna take probably 5 damage next turn. Opponent's gonna be up to 28, so it's gonna be very difficult to catch back up. And that's assuming the Bedrock Tortoise sticks around. And our opponent can even attack some of our non-creature spells. Probably go for enchantments in case we draw Turtle Powers. Would also affect their spells. Goes for instant. Don't have any of those. Alright, so get in for 9. So now Turtle Powers would be my best top deck. Can activate Mutavaults, attack all out. Not sure how much damage that is exactly, but may not be enough. Opponent just needs to play enough blockers, and then they'll be safe. Turtle Lair making stuff unblockable is not gonna do it here. And drew another Bedrock. So we can pretend that we drew Turtle Powers. I guess Immutable would have attacked too then. Opponent actually double blocks. So Turtle Powers would have been 9 plus another 8, 17 damage. So yeah, we're getting kind of close. GG's. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. Mikey and Leo, double Bedrock. This feels too slow and fair to me. Okay. And this hand wouldn't mind a Bedrock Tortoise or a Turtle Powers. Give it a shot. And then chomping is the most conditional. Found our third land at least. Opponent ramping. So if we don't find a Turtle Power soon, opponent's probably gonna overpower us. Bedrock Tortoise, not bad. Still need to play Explore if I want to guarantee casting it. But now I regret not having another Aegis Turtle in play. That would still give us a 2-turn clock. And their opponent may be a Vivid deck if they're running the Shimmer Wilds. Although still just 3 colors. And another Growth. Goes for green. And another one. Well, we're just gonna play a Tortoise and smash. So we'll see if they have an answer. Vibrance can deal 3. Gain 2 life, get a land. And that's acceptable. Can still attack into it with the big butts. So yeah, very unique deck so far. Not sure what to expect. But yeah, if I animate Mutavaults, we might force some chum blocks. And we've got reinforcements. If they answer the Tortoise, we're not hitting very hard, but I can still pump the Turtle Duck at least. Smuggler Surprise, that explains a lot. They didn't mill anything amazing, and yeah, I guess that wasn't good enough. On to the next one. Alright, we're on the play with a functional hand, assuming we find a third land eventually. Turn 1, Turtle Duck. Facing an artifact deck. Can flash in our Sneakling, although I doubt we're gonna set up an ambush. It's gonna be a Chrome Dome. For now, play another Sneakling. Opponent's got another Chrome Dome. Alright, I guess we can get aggressive now. Assuming they don't block. Opponent double blocks there. I was gonna say, if they didn't block, I would have gone for Sneakling plus Turtle Duck and wait another turn. But we also have another Turtle Power in hand. Emissary can help them go wide. And Reunion, don't think I need to cast that right now. So yeah, can get an attack in. And yeah, they're not going to be happy with another Turtle Power. But that's the payoff for the deck. And go ahead and attack. Can also threaten to activate Turtle Duck. Opponent's gonna copy the Harvester. So if I make this base power 4, then we should have 8 damage. Alright, sweet. On to the next one. Alright, we're on the draw. Have a promising start. Some high toughness turtles and followed up with Bedrock. Opponent maybe on a white life gain deck. Or blue-white flyers. Alright, can go for Mikey now. And then next turn I don't hate Turtle Duck, and then get another Aegis Turtle with Reunion to set up our Bedrock. Turtle Power's not bad either. I think that can wait. And we kept our cavern secret in case they try and keep up a counter spell. Opponent is indeed playing a Flyers deck. Turns out our Anthem's a little bit more powerful. But they do have lifelinks, so it's still going to be a close race. So they took it. Another hawk. And that's a full playset right there. Now they could counter Turtle Power. So gotta hope they don't. Pretty happy with those blocks. And that resolves. Opponent falls to 1. Can still sack a clue. Will the turtles beat the birds? Anchorage gets us pretty close to that. We're still at 3. And yeah, looks like we got there. Awesome. On to the next one. Alright, we're on the play. Our hand's a little slow to get going, but Mutable Explorer plays well with Turtle Power. And we're on the play, so hopefully we don't get a run over. Can Reunion to get a 1-drop on turn 2. But we'll see how the game progresses. Opponent on artifacts. Alright, can play Mikey and Leo now. A lampship for flying, ×2. Play Explorer first. And next turn we can entertain the idea of Turtle Power. A Memory Guardian for 2 mana can start stationing the lampship. So not the typical blue-red build, but maybe just mono-blue. So they won't have as many of the token makers, which is what I'm most worried about. Another mutable. I could just keep building up my mana. And then probably worth it to get in for 2 damage. And then next turn, I promise, we'll go for it. Especially with a land, I could Turtle Power animate both Mutavaults. Suppose Reunion for 1 also would have been reasonable, just to get an extra body that we don't need to spend mana to animate. But our 1-drops don't hit particularly hard without a Bedrock Tortoise. Memory Guardian hangs back, can still profitably block a 1/1 Explorer after we pump it up. I see Donatello's gonna make a copy. And did draw the lanes. Turtle Lair can also make stuff unblockable. So if our opponent plays around Turtle Power, this turn may not be amazing. I guess we would still hit for 6 × 2 is 12. So I don't think I need to attack with the Mutable Explorers, because they will know to play around it. Opponent's going for it. Hope to not get spell pierced. That works. So now we're pretty far ahead. Another fugitive droid. And yeah, we can just Animate the Mutavaults once again. Alright, so we got to see this pretty janky blue-green Turtles deck in action. I would definitely not recommend this for the ranked ladder. You're gonna lose to all the Badger Mold decks and any proper control deck as well. But every now and then, if you just want to have fun and curve out with some cheap turtles into a turtle power, you could steal some wins. And then the Bedrock Tortoise plus High Toughness synergies can also get there. But overall, not the most competitive deck. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's gameplay. I want to thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a nice day.